You know, you can't move ahead unless you first acknowledge your past and plan ahead for your future. You've got to dream about your future. You've got to know that it's going to be what you want it to be. But none of that matters. None of it matters if you are not grounded and intentional in the present moment. So this is what we're going to talk about on this episode. But before we dive in, I have a pop question for you. My question is, how bad do you want it? And if you want it bad enough, I want to encourage you to listen in so that we can make this thing finally happen. Create a brand new chapter in your life. When I look back on my journey, and when I listen to the journey of those who I coach, of those who I encourage, listen, nobody wants to visit their past, because I think once you visit your past, you realize that your present moment self really is not running the show. Your show is being ran by your past experience. And sometimes we allow that past experience just to take over our lives and keep us stuck in the present moment. And it prevents us from enjoying the future that is just waiting for us to get it right. So let's talk about this past, present, future self. There are times I want to forget about my past. I don't know about you, but there have been some things in my past that I'm not the most proud of, that I am not the most thrilled about. But there's also this thing of using your past as a tool to elevate you in the present moment. And so I want to encourage you to do not be ashamed of your past. Do not despise the learning curve that you had to go through in your past. Everything that you experienced in your past is the reason why you could stand firm in your present moment. Everything in your past led you to this moment right here. And I want to encourage you not to let your past mistakes, your past trauma, your past decision that didn't turn out to be the best decision, don't let it keep you stuck in your present moment. So how do you get out of that? How do you get out of living in the past and come up to speed in the present moment? I'm so glad you asked. There are three things I want you to consider. The first thing to move you out of the mindset of your past and using that past as a reason subconsciously to keep yourself stuck, the first thing I want you to realize is begin to own your light. Begin to own your light. And so my question to you is this: when you think about owning your light, what comes to mind? What comes to mind when you think about ownership? Well, anything that I own, what also comes with it is my choosing when, where, and how to keep it, or when, where, and how to share it. So if I own my light, if I own everything about me, good, bad, or indifferent, then that thing does not control me, but I control it. So when I decide that I want to release it, I release it when I decide. I also release it wherever I want it to be released, as long as I'm getting it outside of me, outside of my consciousness. Because I own it, I decide where I release it. You decide where you release it, and you decide how you release it. So first, let's just begin with owning your light. And if you own that light and you decide to walk in this world with that light shining bright, guess what? None of it's not lost. None of it is taken away from you. If you own something and you decide to share it, that thing is still a part of you. It never leaves you. You just allowed someone else to share in the glory of it. So own your light. And when you do so, you will find that it's never diminished. You still got what you have, even though you released some of it to someone else. You released it out into the world. Look at it this way. You gave your light away from your overflow. Your cup never ran empty because guess what? Your light is constantly being filled because it comes through you from a source that's greater than you. And as long as that source is emanating that light, which it always will, you'll never lack any light. So go ahead and give your light away. Own it and give your light away. Isn't that a position to be in when you can own something and still you have enough to give some away? So decide this day, choose this day that you will own your light. The second thing, the second way to not live in your past, but empower your future, empower your present moment so that you can realize your future is this. Decide that you will overcome self-doubt. And that's a big one. Because here's the thing. When you doubt yourself, nothing happens. It's like your life stands still. When you doubt yourself, you're afraid to mess up. You're afraid to experiment because you want it to be perfect right out the gate. None of us start perfect. None of us start perfect. And so many times we find ourselves comparing someone's 100th day in to our first day in. And we want to have that thing down packed day one. And then we begin to compare ourselves to someone that's been doing this thing a whole 100 days, 100 miles an hour, and then we begin to doubt our own capabilities. We've got to learn that that is just not the way to go. And anytime you begin to feel self-doubt or diminish yourself, diminish your accomplishment, I want you to flip that thought with a positive thought. I want you to say, it has not happened for me yet. I don't want you to say that it won't ever happen for me. Flip it with, it hasn't happened yet. So, do you get what I'm saying about self-doubt? Self-doubt will keep you stuck. And a lot of it comes from the past. Can you remember when you were a child and mama had 101 things to do and you only had that one thing to do and it was time to go? There were so many things to do that she just didn't have it in her to wait until you were finished doing your one thing. So what would happen? We would get rushed through the one thing that we were doing, the one thing that we wanted her to be so proud of us about. We never got to finish. And as a result of that, we never developed the confidence that we are capable of finishing, capable of doing a thing. And when that happens day in and day out, or week in and week out, the doubt begins to stack. And the more it stacks, the heavier the thought of us not being able to complete a thing, to carry a thing out from start to finish. It built and it grew and it caused us to doubt ourselves. What I want you to do, I want you to forgive that experience. Forgive your mom, forgive yourself, forgive that past experience. And tell yourself, my past does not determine who I am in the present moment. Affirm yourself. Affirm that you are worthy. Affirm that you are more than capable. Affirm that you are capable to finish what you started. And you can finish with excellence. Do you hear me? You can finish with excellence. We have to retrain our mind. And I know you're capable of doing that. The third thing that I want you to get a grip on that's going to help move you from your past, of your past controlling your present moment, is to walk in your light. We talked about owning your light, the importance, the power in owning your light. We've talked about the importance and the power of overcoming self-doubt. And the third thing I want you to embrace is begin to walk in your light. Do you know the power that comes from walking in your light? Do you know how important using that internal light that you possess as you go along your journey to bring that light with you and to not try to diminish it in fear of dimming someone else's light? I cannot tell you how many women I have had conversations with, I have had calls with, who are afraid to walk in their own light. Women who put themselves down because they feel like if they build themselves up, it would have them appear as if they are cocky, or have them appear as if they are overly confident, or have them appear as if they know it all. No, 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 no. Walk in your light. Because when you walk in your light, it draws people to you. It does not repel people from you. And when you draw people to you, guess what you're doing? You're not just helping yourself, but you're helping the next person to see better, to see themselves better, to believe in themselves. Because see, light is contagious. Light attracts light. Light puts out of darkness. It puts it out. It shuts it down. And when that happens, guess what? All of us win. All of us rise. So this episode is about you. It's about you claiming your time. It's about you claiming your light. It's about you claiming your brilliance so that you can go ahead and enjoy that future that is waiting for you. And while you are developing in your present moment, so that you can become the person that could uphold that future elevation. While you are doing that, plant all the good seeds along the way, because then you create a trail of growth, a trail of harmony. You create a path, not just for yourself, but for someone else to follow. Walk in your light. Own your light. And diminish, get rid of self-doubt. Don't be afraid to walk in your purpose. Don't be afraid to live the best life you possibly can. And guess who would be proud of you? you. It's important that you become proud of yourself. It's important that you affirm yourself. Sometimes you just have to encourage yourself. And you can do that in so many ways. You can encourage yourself silently. You can encourage yourself with a loud sound. You can encourage yourself with a smile. You can encourage yourself with a thought. You can encourage yourself with a wink. You can give yourself permission to be. Give yourself permission to be, because sometimes you're the only one doing that. And the more you do it, guess what? The easier it becomes. If you've gotten something from this episode, guess what I want you to do? I want you to subscribe. I want you to like. I want you to follow. And I want you to comment. Comment. Let me know the takeaways that you got from this episode. Let me know what else you would like to hear. Things that will help you to move more expeditiously into your next chapter. I'm here to deliver it. All you've got to do is ask. I'll talk with you soon. Okay? Bye. Mwah.